Okay, so the Eagles just took a commanding lead of the NFC East after knocking off the Commanders, and how they did it was pretty scary, as the defense dominated one of the league's top offenses and multiple guys had great performances, including the rookie Quinyon Mitchell, who had star receiver Terry McLaurin in jail all night long, but it's linebacker Zack Baun who Jalen Hurts sees as the tone setter and leader of the unit. Meanwhile, the offense did something unfair as Saquon Barkley and the offensive line broke the Commanders' defense in the clutch in a battle of who wanted it more, and that mindset, among other things, has managed to form a pretty scary identity for this red-hot Eagles squad. So we're going to talk about that and everything else from the Birds' win over Washington starting right now. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles. And the city of Philadelphia has got to be feeling pretty good right now after what they just witnessed on Thursday Night Football, as of course there was a ton of hype coming into this matchup between the Eagles and Commanders, just mainly due to the fact that first place in the division was on the line, and for the first time in a long time, these two NFC East rivals would be facing off in an important game where both teams were good. And it was also a primetime game to add on to the hype, so this was definitely a big one at this point in the season, and despite some struggles, the Eagles just found a way to gut out a gritty win where they came up clutch, and it's also pretty clear that this team has found their identity, and it's pretty scary. That being said though, this game was certainly far from perfect for the Birds, and their opening drive pretty much summed up the story of the first half for the offense, as the holding call on Mekhi Becton ended up killing the drive, and then to make matters worse, their usually ultra-reliable kicker Jake Elliott missed the 44-yard field goal attempt, so a few self-inflicted wounds hurt the Eagles and cost them points. And then a couple of minutes later, the Commanders' offense was able to get rolling after an Austin Eckler catch and run out of the backfield for 34 yards gave them a spark, and then Brian Robinson took a handoff up the middle for 18 yards down to the 1 yard line before he capped off the drive by punching it in for the touchdown on the next play. So it definitely wasn't the greatest start that the defense has had all season, and the Eagles then found themselves in an early 7-0 hole. And then the self-inflicted wounds continued on the Birds' next drive and really for the rest of the first half, as a few drops resulted in another Eagles punt, and then on the drive after that, the Birds tried a trick play which the Commanders blew up for a 13-yard loss, and then they had another missed field goal from Jake Elliott, which is just insane considering that Jake has been one of the best kickers in the game for a long time, but it definitely was not his night on Thursday as he missed 3 crucial kicks, including a really important extra point that we'll get to a bit later, and he cost the Eagles 7 total points in this game. But just because Bake did not have a good night, that doesn't mean this team has lost any confidence in him, as during a post-game interview with Elliott, CJ Gardner-Johnson apparently walked by and yelled, "Jake's still the best effing kicker in the NFL," and Nick Sirianni also made sure to make it clear that the team still has all the confidence in the world in number 4.
I mean, Jake's been so clutch his entire career and his entire time that I've been here too, and just like I would say to somebody that fumbled or dropped a pass in a moment, we believe in you. You're going to have to make a kick to help us win this football game, and he did to get us up that 16 points and 8 points or whatever it was. But we have so much faith in him, and that's what you do when the connection happens. I think connections happen when you can really build connections through tough times, right? And so obviously he was going through a tough time, but this team believes so much in Jake Elliott, because of his track record and who he is and the teammate he is, the captain he is, and just wanted to let him know that we all believed in him and can't wait for him to get his opportunity to go out and do it again.
It's definitely good that Elliott still has all the confidence of the team, but it honestly has just felt like something maybe has been a little bit off with him this year. Like, this game was obviously awful, but even before that, he had missed his other kicks of over 50 yards, which are usually automatic for him, and now he's under 80% as a whole for the season. So whatever's going on, he's going to need to figure it out fast, because the Eagles are going to need Jake Elliott to make some big kicks at some point in the season, possibly in the playoffs. So hopefully this game winds up being more of a fluke than a trend. Oh, and also, the self-inflicted wounds did not stop here, as on the Birds' next offensive drive, what seemed like a miscommunication between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown resulted in an incomplete pass on 3rd and 4 and an Eagles punt, and then even on the following drive, which spanned 15 plays and covered 87 yards, an Eagles mistake ended it as Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown ran into each other on a 3rd and goal play, which prevented someone from getting open early, and it ultimately killed the play. And this was really the capper, and was just a super frustrating first half for the Birds offense, as they moved the ball well, but they just weren't able to capitalize on the opportunities that they had. And after the game, Jalen Hurts went into detail on those miscues.
I think offensively, some miscommunications at certain moments, and maybe didn't operate at the highest level we could have. And obviously scoring in the red zone is the biggest thing, but You know, when you look at 435 yards of total offense, I mean, that's pretty good. And so, want to take advantage of our opportunities.
Jalen's exactly right here. Like, the offense moved the ball all night long. It was just some mistakes and self-inflicted wounds at certain moments that hurt them, and they weren't able to take advantage of all their opportunities, particularly in the red zone at times, like he said. So they're surely going to have to be better in that regard moving forward. But luckily for them, their defense really showed up and kept them in the ballgame when things weren't going well offensively. As outside of the one touchdown drive, the Birds defense really didn't let out much of anything to Washington in that first half, as they were just able to consistently get the Commanders' offense off the field. And in the second half, it was pretty much the same story, as even though Washington was able to get 3 points on their first drive of the half, after that, they didn't see too much success, and despite all the hype and noise surrounding the rookie Jayden Daniels coming into this game, he really wasn't able to do much against the Eagles defense, as he was 22 for 32 with 191 yards, many of which were late in the game when the Eagles were playing more conservative, and nothing was really going down the field. So the Eagles did a really good job on him, and overall, they just had another great performance. And after the game, multiple Eagles offensive players raved about the defense and what they were able to do in this game.
Defense played a hell of a game again. That was my message to him, you know, and I knew it was going to take all of us tonight. But the number one thing I was telling them was just keep it going while it's hot. You know, they had a great defensive showing in Dallas last week, and after a short week, they kept the party going. So just got to keep building.
Defense is balling. I didn't mean to cut you off, but defense is balling. You know, all the names you guys hear and the jerseys you probably see it mostly on the offense, but those guys are coming alive. I think Q and Coop, young guys, are playing great ball. Zach is playing at an all-pro level. Kobe stepping up. You know, Reed always finds a way. He gets his hands on the ball for some reason. But those guys, you got to play complementary football. And, you know, we could do a little bit of job of that this game with offense and defense and special teams, but that's the main thing about football. It takes everybody. It takes all three phases to win football games.
Yeah, I mean, I think defense is playing the best they have all year, really the past 2 or 3 weeks. Tremendous plays. Yeah, man, they're really putting offense in a good position, and we didn't do a good job first half. We put them in some terrible positions, but you know, hats off to them, man. They're playing really well.
Is it crazy to say that I'm starting to think that this might be one of the best Eagles defenses that we've ever seen? I mean, they've been statistically the best defense in the NFL since the bye week, and they just seem to keep getting better and better, both as a unit and also individually, as we've seen some great progression and individual performances from the players as well. And perhaps nobody was better in this game than the rookie Quinyon Mitchell, who just had an unbelievable performance. And don't worry, we're going to get into that and so much more in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of the season, then make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss any of the Eagles coverage or content I got coming on this channel. I cover the Birds pretty much daily here, so if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Eagles news, this is the spot. So again, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and also while you're at it, hit the like button to show some support. Let's see if we can get to 800 likes today. And now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. And specifically, let's get back to Quinyon Mitchell, who, dare I say, is one of the best corners in football right now. I mean, this is a guy who is playing at an all-pro level, yes, an all-pro level in year one, and he just seems to be getting better and better, as in this game, Terry McLaurin became the latest victim to Guantanamo Bay, as on 20 covered snaps against Q, he had exactly 0 catches, 0 yards, and most impressively, 0 targets. I mean, Mitchell was all over him to the point where they weren't even throwing him the football, which is just insane given how good of a player and crucial piece of the Commanders' offense that Scary Terry is. And after the game, McLaurin made sure to give Quinyon his credit, as he said, quote, "He's a good corner, he doesn't really play like a rookie." So safe to say that the rookie left a good impression on the star receiver, and overall, this was just an amazing performance from Quinyon once again, but it's really no surprise at this point because he's been doing this to star receivers all year long, and I only expect it to continue. But now, getting back to the Eagles offense, they were finally able to get something going in the third quarter as they put together a really good first drive that got all the way down into the red zone with the help of a 43-yard catch and run by Saquon Barkley, but they eventually stalled out in what was another missed opportunity, but at least they did get the 3 points this time as Jake Elliott hit the 31-yard field goal just like he did at the end of the first half. And then on the following drive, they finally were able to get into the end zone after Jalen Hurts made some nice plays, including a heroic third down conversion where he dove and stretched the ball out on the side sideline, and then Kenny Gainwell really helped spark the Eagles' run game with a couple of 14-yard gains in a row before Saquon took the Eagles down to the 1-yard line, and then Jalen Hurts finished it off with the brotherly shove for the score to give the Eagles their first lead of the game. Unfortunately, though, Jake Elliott's missed extra point kept it just a 2-point game. But the Eagles defense bailed him out, as they stood up Washington on 3 straight plays in a row to force a turnover on downs, including an awesome play from Zack Baun to lay a hit on Jayden Daniels on 4th down to stop him short of the line to gain. And this is really just one of many incredible plays that Baun has made this season in what has been a true breakout year for him. And after the game, Jalen Hurts gave the first-year Eagles linebacker some tremendous praise.
Yeah, I call Zack Baun the tone setter. In that group, that linebacker group in general. But Zack Baun, how he's been able to come here, be a part of this team, take leadership in his role, and, his actions do a lot of talking for him. And that's something that I respect a lot. And just to see how he shows up, how he, the physicality he plays with, how he flies to the ball, I think it's a great fit for, this city and obviously this defensive scheme. And so I just encourage him to continue to lead that group, continue to do the work he's doing, and everybody continue to build and feed off of one another.
I completely agree with Jalen Hurts there that Baun has been the tone setter for this defense, as he plays with a level of physicality and energy that the whole defense feeds off of, and he's honestly just been unbelievable this season. Like, the guy had 15 tackles in this game just after he won NFC Defensive Player of the Week last week, and he had also been the highest graded linebacker in the NFL in 3 straight weeks heading into this game. So safe to say that Zack Baun is an absolute star, and the Eagles just got to find a way to extend him ASAP. And after that play from Baun in the defense, the offense finally blew it open as Saquon Barkley got a handoff on 3rd and 3 to the outside, and he just hit the gas and took it all the way for a 23-yard touchdown, and the extra point by Elliott made it a 2-score game. And also, shout out to Calcaterra for making an absolutely crucial play on this drive to recover a fumble by Dallas Goedert after he had picked up 32 yards, which just speaks to the relentless effort that Grant plays with, so shout out to him for that, and also shout out to Reed Blankenship for being an absolute ball hawk and coming up with his 3rd pick of the year on the first play of the Commanders' next drive, which put the Eagles offense right back out there, and 2 plays later, they were in the end zone again after Saquon Barkley took a toss play 39 yards to the house to put the Birds up 26-10 in the blink of an eye. So what a turnaround this was, and also just what a job by the offensive line and Saquon Barkley for just taking over the game here in the 4th quarter and giving the Eagles a sizable lead. And honestly, no matter how many times we see Saquon break a big run or score a long touchdown, it's just never going to get old because this guy is just on another planet, and he is playing the best football of his career in his first year in Philly. And overall, I just think the way things went with Saquon in this game and really just the entire Eagles team shows you that they truly have found their identity. I mean, this is a tough physical team that's not going to quit, and they're going to keep coming at you until they eventually break you, and that's exactly what we saw in this game. Like, defensively, they were great all game long, and they played super physical every time they were out there, and then offensively, I think it's clear at this point that the run game is a part of their identity, and that's the thing that they're best at. But in this game particularly, things didn't go their way early, as the Commanders were actually doing a really good job of slowing down the run game. But like Nick Sirianni often says, and like he said after this game, it's not about who's the toughest, it's about who's the toughest the longest, and the Eagles stuck with the run game and kept pounding the rock until they eventually broke a couple big ones in the 4th quarter and broke the Commanders' defense in the process. And if you ask me, that's pretty unfair for NFL defenses to be asked to stop or at least slow down Saquon Barkley behind this offensive line for 4 full quarters of football. Who can be expected to do that if we're being serious? I mean, the Commanders, they did their best in this game, but again, Saquon and that Eagles offensive line just broke them in that 4th quarter, and that just speaks to the toughness and relentless effort that the Eagles play with, and it also shows you how bad they wanted it, which is something that Jordan Mailata highlighted after the game.
To be honest, I think it's just will. I think you have to want it more than the other team. I think that's what it just comes down to. We could talk about X's and O's, but when you come down, you got to have it. We always talk about the got to have it moments. It comes down to will. Do you want to do it? The want to, and I think showed out there on the film that we wanted it more.
Man, I absolutely love this. This is who the Eagles are in 2024. They are a tough, physical, nasty team that is going to wear you down on both sides of the ball, and that's why you see them being able to gut out tough wins like this one. And it's also not like they're one-dimensional either, as we've seen the Eagles win games in a multitude of ways. And just overall, while this particularly wasn't the prettiest game, it was still a great win to just gut it out at the end after battling hard all night long. And now the Eagles are in firm control of the division moving forward, as they just took a 1.5 game lead over the Commanders, and they are also going to have a chance at the number 1 seed in the NFC, as they're sitting just behind the Detroit Lions at 8-2 with a lot of games left, and the Birds' schedule is more favorable than Detroit's moving forward. So we'll see what happens, but it would be awesome to see the playoffs run through the link once again.
Washington, respect y'all, but y'all know this run through us. Yeah, this run through the link, man. I don't know where they at like this surprise. This run through the link, man. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Man, I'll tell you what, it just feels really good that the Eagles are playing this well right now. But you guys can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What did you think of the Eagles' win over Washington? And also, if you did enjoy this video and you don't want to miss any others like it coming in the future, again, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And also, while you're at it, make sure you drop a like. Again, let's see if we can get to 800 likes today. It's completely free and it really does help me out a ton. So again, hit the like button. And also, if you want to watch another Eagles video, you can check this out right here. Now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.